Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. I hope that you guys are doing okay this morning. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, but definitely hit the like button. Um, and also share the video. I would really appreciate that so much. This morning, I wanted to talk about how straight drop is holding up in jail. Of course, I had the opportunity to speak with some of my friends, well, a couple of them that works in the jail. One of them, and it's a few of them that works directly with straight drop. So don't even try to figure out who it is, okay? Because it's a few of them that works directly with him. I know all of them, but I had the opportunity to talk with one, and we just talking to they told me, they was telling me some stuff about straight drop as it relates to how he or how it looks that he's holding up in jail. And as I had said one time before, straight drop, um, I gotten some intel that, as when straight drop first got there, shortly after, phone numbers and things of that nature. Certain people's phone numbers started to change because a lot of people, I guess, who felt like they had something to lose started hauling ass and changing phone numbers, which it's not going to make a bit of difference. Okay. Now, from what I'm told, straight drop, you know, he he sits there quietly and he seems to be in thought all day. Okay. Um, and it could mean nothing because from what I was told from some about somebody else, and I don't know if this is true. I'm talking about somebody who had gotten on my live one night, is that he had always pretty much been a quiet person, but you could look at straight drop and tell that his because his eyebrows have not relaxed since the second time that he went to court. He wasn't like that the first time because I think that straight drop somebody had given him a false sense of security. But after he found out that he was going to be double crossed, they did that with the lawyer. The lawyer pulled out. He thought he was going to have a lawyer. Um, and it had nothing to do, in my opinion, as far as the lawyer, with him not turning himself in. I think it was a part of the play. They never, or maybe they thought that they would be able to get him a lawyer and get and maybe they did thought that they would be able to get that lawyer to represent him. But in my opinion, and or it could have been like this. Let me give two scenarios, and I'm gonna give you my opinion. Okay, they could have thought that they was going to be able to pay for that lawyer to represent him, and after speaking with the lawyer, the lawyer probably said it would not be a good look, um because I might have to represent y'all's damn asses, right? Or they never had intentions on getting him that lawyer. It was a part of the setup to make a fool out of him, to give him a false sense of security. um and they know that he can't say anything because from what I'm hearing, all of the dirt that he's done, if all of that starts to come out, he might, he could probably be looking at the death penalty. Okay, so you never really know who's really doing the talking. So they probably feel like that he would never talk. Okay, and I'll say allegedly, as far as a lot of the stuff they say he's done, that he could have possibly done, and if proven, so the people who basically put a battery in his back more than likely feels that he would never say anything, because if he says something and then they start, just telling on each other, he could be looking at a whole lot worse, even worse than what he's looking at now. So I think that's why they probably feel like they've got him controlled, and then he's got family on the outside. Okay. But from what I was hearing, what I heard is, and I heard some more stuff, and I'm gonna wait. I can't release everything at one time, of course, but that he just, he sits there in deep thought. The person that told me said, I actually believe that he wished he never did it. Now that's what the person, one of the persons that man at sale said. I actually believe that he wished he had never did it. And it leads me to, as I get into all the time, you have young men like Straight Drop, okay? And Straight Drop, as I said before, Straight Drop and Dolph in them, Straight Drop and Dolph in them had fallen out and key locked them a couple years before. Because if you look at his Instagram or whatever, they kind of, he would kind of throw shots, okay? Because I know he deleted everything off of his Instagram now, but he had thrown shots. People still have taken screenshots of it at Dolph and Key Glock. So after 2 years, what would make him them want to go after Dolph like that? Of course, motivation is always the money. We have to look at what Straight Drop was doing right after Dolph was taken out. He had gotten some features from some artists that would, that kind of had a buzz. He was dropping videos, and those videos were well treated, which means they were not cheap videos. They were not just homemade videos. Who paid for those videos? Who? Because most videographers, when people do have videographers, they kind of have the same style as, they kind of do things in the same style as maybe everybody that uses that videographer, right? You know when a group of people use the same videographer, right? Okay. So we have to look at that. And then, everybody has talked about even that video track out, they said the video, nobody, the videographer didn't put his logo or anything on there. I don't know why he wouldn't do it, but who gets credit for that video? Who's getting the money off of that video on YouTube? All of that stuff can be looked into, right? So that's whoever is getting the money, whoever the money is going to, uh, whoever is secretly behind it. That I don't know why. I mean, it's just a video. I don't know why anybody would want to keep it a secret. I don't know why the videographer, especially with the video getting that many views, would not want to put his information on it. Okay. But it all goes back to, as what I was going to say about Straight Drop. These young men having a battery put in their back, and you have older men that could have easily been a good influence on them, or could have actually helped Straight Drop. Because I'm gonna tell you something. As I say, I've worked with the youth, okay, and I still have people that I mentor, okay, and it bothers me a whole lot. Straight Drop has to pay for what he did. There is a price. I keep saying that when you have older people that put a battery in their back and go, what Straight Drop said, he carrying the weight of the world on his shoulder. Nigga, you probably double his age, bitch ass nigga. Don't get on my page with that shit, okay? You want this young man, in which he has to pay for what he did, okay? But it's a damn shame how pitiful a lot of these black men are, and others. Okay? We know others don't give a damn. If y'all could, they could carry y'all niggas could carry the burden of Jesus Christ. As long as people in the other community are getting paid, they wouldn't give a damn what you did, because it's all about the money. They look at you as a damn slave. But it's a shame when you have other people from our communities to join in on the shit. And with this situation with Straight Drop, his upset, when he said he got this on his back, Straight Drop is going to pay for what he did. It ain't no way around it. But it's a damn shame when you have older men that send these kids out on missions, and they doing everything that they can do to try to cover it up, and it ain't gonna work. The authorities already know who was involved. But I think it's pitiful. That's why I keep talking about it, that people like Straight Drop, as I said, he was already out there doing stuff that he shouldn't have done. But when you give them money to do it, especially if they ain't got nothing and they ain't been taught no better, they gonna do it. And I don't even know if Straight Drop didn't have some type of mental illness to do some of the shit I'm hearing Straight Drop possibly did. It's got to be some mental illness somewhere. But it's a damn shame when these folks call themselves OGs and they getting it out the back of using the youth in their crash dummy, I guess, attitudes or whatever, and don't give a damn and think that they're going to be able to live happily ever after. It don't work like that. And so now I know a few people probably scared that Straight Drop is doing some talking because he's in survival mode. You know, I can't get into that. If I don't know if he's doing any talking or not. Even if I knew, I wouldn't get on here and say it, because I believe in protecting witnesses. Okay, but if he is, that would be a good thing. Because from what I'm hearing, the way he sit, you know, the way he's sitting that, you know, from where he's sitting in that cell doing, he probably is. It's possible. If he's not, he probably will. Because 60 years is a long time for a 24-year-old man, young man, who had so many possibilities, but this is what's put in front of them. I'll help you. I'll give you this if you go out and do that. These older Black men are destroying our youth. And then they have the nerve to sit up and talk about, I'm father of the year. No, God got to get you back. As I keep saying, forget about man. Forget about the police and the FBI and all of the DEA. I'm hearing they out there spinning. Okay? To make sure that these Negroes got. I'm talking about God. What these older Black men are doing to the youth, instead of pulling them in. I'm gonna make you famous, but you go kill, you know, you go handle this lick for me. Talk about Dolph. You go take out my enemies, and you ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. Our people have become completely barbaric. Okay. And I was told this maybe a week or so ago. I don't think your boy Drop doing good. They sit right down there with him. I wouldn't care how he got on the phone. Try to say, I got this on my back. And he, you know, I'm carrying the weight of the world on my back. How in the world would a bunch of old Negroes that sent this dude out want him to carry the weight of the world on his back? What they should be doing is telling the rest of them little dudes that was probably out there with him, if they weren't really involved, but if they was out there with him, they don't have to pay the ones that was, because it was some more out there, I'm hearing. And it ain't come from off the street, nigga. Sit y'all asses down, because it came from the authorities. Okay. But from what I'm hearing, I mean, they're gonna have to pay too. But I'm sure a lot of these ones that got into these young dudes' heads, they kind of scattered out. They don't want any contact with these young dudes, because they used them to take out who they had been wanting gone, and that was Dolph. And like I keep saying, and that was to basically handicap them. Dolph teaching the recipe. Forget about all this BS they talking about. He signed Big Unc. Maybe in those young dudes' heads, maybe that was their motivation. Okay, maybe it was, but it was some old crusted Negroes, whether it was men or women, that got into these dudes' heads, and I know that they know that they got to pay for that. Yeah, Straight Drop got to pay for his part, but these Negroes, these older Negroes, gonna have to answer to God, because it's a damn shame what they are doing to our youth. Anytime you could pay some dudes that are considered some crash dummies, especially when they couple with, they taking Percocets, they drinking lean, all of this stuff that alters their thinking. And these older people are able to use that to get them to go and mess their lives up. And in the process, because of their emotions, nigga, you go take care of your own shit if you got a problem. Why are you destroying our youth or our future? Because people, young men like Straight Drop and Key Glock and Big Unk and the Teasies and all of them. Okay, that's our future. That's the future of our black men to carry on whatever legacies and to we have to depend on them to educate the people that come behind them after we go off of the scene, because we're not going to be here forever. But instead we're using them, and then if people get scared, they get mad at me because I might get word that he ain't doing well. Well, we already know, even if he has said he was doing well, we know he ain't. If a young man is looking at 60 years and he really didn't have as much of a problem with Dolph as some of these ones that paid him that was jealous of Dolph. Okay, we done fell out, but it was never enough for him to go take him out. Dolph had been coming home. This shit had been going on for 2 years. So he had never tried to take him out. But you get a bunch of old crusty folks, double their age, to get in their ear, and they think that God is going to let them walk around here free. It ain't going to happen. Because if God don't take them out, the authorities going to take them out. So they're going to pay for it one way or the other. And the way they handled it with Dolph, and the way that they're continuously handling this, the way that they're paying people to do all kinds of stuff, there going to be some repercussions for that. But just as from what I hear, it don't look like he's doing as good as people. He ain't as strong. That's a 24-year-old young man. Y'all think that he don't want to be out? And then you got a bunch of old niggas saying, "Oh, he got this. He got this. He gonna take his time." 60 years, and he ain't gonna say nothing. He gonna let us old crusty niggas that sent him out stay out. You pitiful. You pitiful. You take out somebody that gets a bunch of snotty nosed kids to take out somebody that some of these older niggas was jealous of, and they carry that on their back while they stay out and hide. That's the state of our black men now. But the good thing about it is, even though they would want that to happen, they want that to happen. That's what they put into the atmosphere. That's what they want to do to a lot of these young men. They want to pay them dimes and nickels. Young men, you're not going to get to spend it. Don't let them take your life. Money ain't worth that. They might give you the money, but the law going to take your life. And they send you out there because they don't want to get themselves caught up in it. I'm too important. I can't be caught up in this. I'm too important. I got to floss and flodge and lie. Play like I'm father of the year while y'all in jail, and y'all little babies out there never will know y'all. And y'all women going on, probably them. Those girls, y'all women are half these Negroes' age. That's probably who they want. Anyways, okay? And get y'all out the way, because nobody that truly says that they got love for y'all is going to ask y'all to go and commit no hits. Okay? But they think that they're going to get to stay out. And then they send these little dudes out on these missions. They gas them up. If you see that they're hurting, they ain't got nothing. They out here hustling, got their lives in danger. If they got a talent, why don't you just help them anyways? Put them on if you can. Why give them money to go and mess their lives up? Nobody is getting away with this with Dolph. So then what ends up happening is when it starts to when the stuff really starts hitting the fan, okay? And basically it already has. And it starts to move up. The people on the upper level starts cutting whomever they think is more expendable in the back. Okay, well, we're gonna protect each other. I love little bro, but he gonna have to be the one to go do this time. I can't go do it. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. And so they all start turning on each other. And it goes back to that scripture in the Bible. Y'all know I have to throw a scripture out there. The Bible says they come at you one way. They came at dark one way. And then they flee in 7 different ways. In other words, they come at you one way. And then they scatter out in 7 different ways, which means they get confused and start turning on each other. They get scared and start fighting and telling on each other. God says he will confuse the language. Okay? And it's a lot of people confused because they thought that they was going to be able to kill young Dolph and put a bag on his head and just get him out the way and there'd be no repercussions. But God has confused the language. And now they're trying to scatter out. And there's a lot of people in survival mode. And the more that these kids go in survival mode and the scared that some of these people get, the more money they start trying to give to lure these kids into doing stuff that they will not get away with. Nobody, not even the people they got on this internet that's doing illegal stuff, they're not going to get away with it. Okay? So, as far as straight drop, y'all, from what I was told, it don't look like he holding up well. And is it expected for a 24-year-old boy who has done some crash dummy stuff already, but mentally, he ain't really been through even a whole lot yet, even though I'm sure he's been through some stuff. But mentally, his mind is not even mature. Not mentally. And you talking about 24 years old, 60 years? That's really a death sentence. And these crusty Negroes that helped to send him out and gave him the money to go do this, they'll be dead and rotten in 60 years. Okay? They will be. And their children and stuff won't even remember straight drop. And a lot of these other kids that's got to pay for this. See, this is what these kids need to think about. And their parents need to step in if they got some parents. And even if they're on some drugs, that's why they need to get up off this crack and shit. Because this is what's happening to their children. The OGs ain't no good no more. They were so jealous of Dolph, they didn't want to take him out because they already knew that there would be repercussions for taking him out. So they have to send out people who they don't give a damn about to do it. I wouldn't give a damn if Straight Drop did consider himself a damn hitman nigga if you got his ear. And he got a talent. Why don't you help to redirect that energy? As I always say. I can help you, but you can't be no hitman because I can't have that around me. Why not grab him up and do that? Instead, you use him to do your dirty work and you think make a chess move to take out a king. But there are always repercussions for messing with a king. And even though these Negroes think they're going to be able to hide and they would love to believe that these young dudes, they gonna gas you up. Yeah, he a soldier. He ain't gonna say nothing. He carrying the world. He carrying the world on his back. Why would a motherfucker that's double or triple his age want him to carry that? You ain't got no empathy, even though he got to pay for what he did, him and Cornelius and the rest of them. But these niggas that was in the background, the root of this problem, which is the money. That's where the money came from. That's the pipeline to the money. That's the real problem. That's the root of the tree. As I always say, as I've been saying since I came on the scene, I came back to YouTube. I like to talk about roots of a tree. Okay? And roots, the root of the tree is where the bad came from. The roots of the tree keep the tree growing. It keeps it alive. Okay? That's what's keeping all this stuff going. Luring these kids in that ain't got nothing with their money, instead of using it to help to produce positive things in the Black community. They ain't doing that. Even though the Black community helped these bitch ass niggas to get what they got. It was off the backs of the Black community supporting them. They think they don't owe the Black community no more than this, especially these kids that's really doing it because they was already fans of them, probably. Straight Drop and Cornelius, even though Cornelius is a little older, Cornelius lived in the neighborhood. He ain't have nothing. And the rest of these kids, they're the limbs. Okay. They're the limbs and the branches on a tree. Straight Drop and Cornelius and the rest of them kids that was out there, when they go to jail, that tree gonna still be alive and standing. That's why I say it will be a travesty of justice. And guess what? After a while, the limbs and the branches going to start to grow back, which means they're going to go and get some more crash dummies. They're going to go and find some more troubled kids to secretly do their work, and they'll get slicker with it every single time. See, Straight Drop don't understand he probably is safer in jail, because if they could send somebody to take him out, they would. Okay? Because that's what people start to do when they hire you to do stuff. A lot of times, because Dolphin case is so hot, when some of these folks start getting taken out, if they didn't think the people was watching them so close, in which they are, it'll look like it was retaliation when it was actually the people that hired you. I've seen it for 20 years. Oh, what happened to him? Oh, they retaliated, and all the people that hired him to kill him because they were scared he was going to talk. That's what happens. They don't give a damn about these kids. And I'm talking about some of these ones, they're going to look at this. They don't give a damn about you. If they did, they wouldn't send you out on these missions. But the limbs and the branches of a tree will always grow back. That means they start to go get other people after these other kids that they've sent out go to jail, and they just pay them to go do crash dummy stuff. But if the root of that tree is dug up, that's it for the tree. It can never produce anything else. No rotten branches, no rotten leaves. And the root of the tree, from what I'm hearing, is what they're working on. These are the people that's destroying the Black community. We don't need them in our community. They go and get with these other communities and help to assault. They get with these other communities because they ain't got no souls, a lot of them. They don't give a damn about the Black community anyway, so they help them to do stuff they didn't know what to do, to be even more atrocious to the people in our community and make them zombified. And they feel like that gives me power because they want to exert fear. But then when the shit hit the fan, they ain't got no loyalty to them. They'll tell on them in a minute and do they 4 years, and nigga, you gonna do 50. That's how it usually works. So I always end it with, there has to be some repair in our community. And how, from what I'm hearing, it Straight Drop looks like he stays in thought all the time and got deep regret for what he did. And I'm sure he does. And that would be a good thing, because that would prove that he is human. But there are a lot of people on the outside that's betting on him not being human, because what they did to Dolph wasn't right. And contrary to what anybody would want to believe, I wouldn't give a damn what kind of shit put out. Them authorities out there spending for Dolph, because Dolph, what happened to Dolph represents a bigger problem. A lot of people don't know that it's personal to a lot of these folks that's out there getting justice for Dolph. It's personal. That's why I know it's gonna go up. I just hope the very top person get got. A lot of people are so pathetic. A lot of times they'll do all they can to protect that very top person. But I'm gonna tell you something. If they don't get got one way, God has a way of getting them. So nobody is getting away with it. And the wrath of God is worse than any wrath of man. I can promise you that. Okay? If you don't believe me, keep watching. All right? All right, you guys, I went on 30 minutes and I didn't intend to go on 30 minutes, but please like, share, and subscribe. But this right here was a bigger message. Straight drop represents so many young men that are out there doing crash dummy stuff for money. It ain't worth it. Money is not worth your life. And see, a lot of people think that this new DA is going to be lenient. Okay? He's not. He ain't. And which wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay? It wouldn't be a bad thing. Because this genocide that's being committed by the very people in our community has to stop. Okay? It has to stop. And these old dudes ought to be ashamed of themselves. But forget man. They're going to have to deal with God on this one. Because nobody is getting away with what they did to Adolph Robert Thornton. They're going to always remember this one. And it's going to be a whole lot of young men to be able to survive. Because these niggas going to think twice when they get through what they going to do to them. Okay? Before they ever go try to take out anybody. A king, a queen, a peasant, whatever they consider them. They're going to think twice. And these niggas with this money ain't going to be able to hide behind these kids no more. They ought to be ashamed of themselves anyways. Because a lot of them are going to get got too. Okay? All right, you guys, please hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Talk to you later.